This video contains spoilers for Persona 3. If you don't want to get spoiled, get the fuck out.
Shit, hi. Hello, how long has it been since I've last been on this channel? A couple months?
It's been a good few months. I think it was like October-ish.
So we were mulling over stuff we could do, because it's been a while, and we thought, why don't we just talk about Persona 3 and 4? And I thought, like, yeah, that sounds pretty good. So I want to start this with a question. Are we going to be talking about Portable and the Answer? At length, I mean.
Not at length. I think we can kind of go over them, but I think this the video is supposed to be about, like, the actual Persona 3.
Yeah, what we love about Persona 3, not what we hate.
Right. I don't really hate it. It more just kind of gets on my nerves.
The Answer made my blood boil like you wouldn't fucking believe. So I guess we're going to start this with the glorious first thing on my notes section. Fuck, marry, kill Mitsuru, I guess Yukari.
Alright, this is a great game and I love it. How's about you go first?
Simple. Fuck Mitsuru, marry Aigis, kill Yukari. I don't like Yukari. Her daddy issues get on my nerves.
Yeah, me too.
You can't really fuck Aigis, but she'd be a good wife bot, and Mitsuru is just step on my dick, Mitsuru.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think there's any other way to, like, swing it. I could see Mary, Aigis, and Mitsuru being swapped around.
Yeah.
But yeah, Yukari needs to die.
Yukari needs to die? That soundbite's isolated, you know? I'm stealing that.
That's fine. Feel free to use it. I have no copyright claim over it.
So, Smash or Pass Persona 3 girls.
Alright.
This order was not me. This is just the order they're on the wiki. Do not hate me, because the first one is the FemC.
Why is FemC first? Is it going in order of who exists the least, down to who exists the most?
Actually, yeah, you could do it that way with this list. So, Smash or Pass, FemC.
I have an intense dislike of less her and more kind of what she represents. I give her the dick, but
nothing else.
But Ken's dick has been in there, Shinji's dick has been in there, Koromaru's dick has been in there.
Oh man, dude, Koromaru was the best. They sleep together, you know?
Yeah, so there's been a lot of dick passing through there. I mean, I guess I'll do it, but
for me, it's more like, not my type of woman. Yukari, hard pass.
I'd give her the smash, but I'm afraid of, like, waking up next to her, and she's just crying. I'm like, oh, fuck.
Mitsuru?
Smash-a-roni.
Well, she'd be the one smashing you. Get that, like... You know she'd whip out the strap-on.
Oh, yeah. I'm fine with it.
If it's Mitsuru, I'll do anything. Fuka?
Yeah, me too. I'd give her a loving smash.
I'd smash, but I wouldn't stay for breakfast. I guess there's no hole.
There's always a hole. She's got a mouth. She's probably got, like, an exhaust port.
Oh, man. I can't wait for my dick. I can't wait to look like I just fucked a car's, like, exhaust port.
It's fine. It'll get your dick nice and toasty.
Oh, okay, did you ever play Persona H?
No.
My friend made that game, first and foremost.
Is that the one with the wheel?
Yes.
Yeah, I have.
Did he ever get Aigis?
I think I did.
What she does is she rips off her, like, crotch panel and it's just a built-in Ono hole.
Yeah.
I don't like Ono holes. It's just, like, a matter of principle. They freak me out.
Yeah.
Like, you ever see that one video?
I wouldn't own one.
You ever see the video of the guy who put an Ono hole in, like, a car's exhaust port and revved the car?
Yeah, I have. It just goes like...
That's part of why I can never stick my dick in an Ono hole, because I'll just start laughing. Metis.
Oh, shit. This is weird, because she doesn't even really exist.
Yeah, she's not even real.
Yeah, I mean... This is, like, on top of the problem that Aigis has of having no real, like, female parts.
She doesn't exist.
Yeah, she also doesn't exist, so that's 2 layers of problems. I'll give it a try, but we'll see how it goes.
Miss Torumi.
Not really big into MILFs.
Because, well, you see, I am.
Like, I would give Kawakami the smash, but something about Toriumi just doesn't quite, like, click right.
I kind of want to smash, like, MMO neat woman. Well, she's a neat on the weekend, anyways.
Yeah, she's a neat on the weekend.
Like, she just doesn't leave her house, she just drinks in her panties all day. I mean, honestly, I can see myself living that life when I'm not working in the future.
Panties and all.
We'll see where my life goes.
Yeah.
Chihiro.
I'd give a smash, I guess.
I'd smash until her personality came into play, then I'd just leave. I don't care. I don't care. I'm just pulling out and I'm fucking gone. No. Like, something about how clingy and weird she is, because she's not going to give you the smash unless she likes you.
Right.
And there's going to be something, like, she's creepy and weird and clingy, and it makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, she's, like, you're going to get calls from her after the deed is done.
Oh man, your dick was the best, Dorku. Stop. Ew. Now, Yuko, do you like that Ganguro pussy?
I'm kind of into it. I think she's not quite Ganguro. She kind of is. I think she's more just like Okinawan.
You know, but I'm going for the fish lips, dude.
Yeah, I'd give her the smasheronium into that brown sugar.
Although it will be kind of weird. She starts going by like, "Oh, I want a family." And it's like,
yeah, she seems like she'd be poking holes in the condoms or something.
Well, you're not looking. She's sticking thumbtacks through them. There's Chidori. No, I do not like. I like goth. I don't like emo.
She's a little nuts. Like, she seems like she would try to cut me or something.
Yeah, that's what
and I'd feel bad. Like that's Junpei's woman. So I'm not gonna get between another.
I mean, if Chidori's alive, then Junpei is dead. That's our fan in here.
Yeah.
Junpei fucking died, and she didn't revive him because she didn't care. And now we're banging his girl. Oh, that's awful. Now this should be a given. Elizabeth?
Smash!
Dude, I have a figure of her sitting behind me. I think you know my answer.
Yeah, I also have one. It's like 3 feet away from me.
So, do you want to open with general discussion of the game, or should I go for it?
You go for it, Dudo.
I'll start with the little nothings, because, also, forgive my breathing. Like, I don't know why, but my lungs are fucked and I struggle to talk at length these days. So these are a lot of little nothings that came to mind after I'd spent 14 months in the mountains playing nothing but Megami Tensei.
It's true. You did this and you're a fucking psycho for it.
You have to give me props for my effort.
Yeah, it's impressive. But it's also kind of concerning.
I said I dedicated the year to Megami Tensei for my channel, and I fucking did it.
Yeah, you did.
And now I have a very one-track fan base who is very hard to please.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it is. Like, I can't imagine that accumulating like S&T like hard ass types that are like, yeah, Megami Tensei, and then not playing it after is gonna go super well.
It's fine. It could be worse, but it could be better. But right, after playing Persona 1 and 2, I noticed like the stupid amount of little references to it in Persona 3, especially.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Like, let's see, I mean, this is the one that everybody knows, the Hermit Link, it's Innocent Sin Online,
mm-hmm.
and Maya and Tatsuya, protagonists of Innocent Sin and Eternal Punishment, respectively. Now that I actually know that character and their relationship, it's put the whole Hermit Link of 3 into a new light for me, and it's a little heartwarming. I really like that. Now, did you ever bother with Who's Who?
I did not. I think I watched it, like, once or twice, and then I was like, yeah, whatever.
You wanna know
and continued on.
You wanna know who that host of that show is?
Yeah, it's Trish.
Yeah, it's Trish, the cunt greedy Jew fairy from Persona 1 and 2. But what I'm wondering more is, if this is like post-Demons have stopped World, why is Trish still here?
She's just yutzing about. She's figured out how to disguise herself well.
I guess. Pixie magic, I don't care. But I know Tatsuya shows up on it, and it's like a very handsome 20-year-old, and he says some gay shit and leaves.
Does he make motorcycle noises?
He's like, okay, introduce yourself. So it's another thing. I found that a lot of tracks in the answer are actually named after things from Persona 1 and 2. Like Snow Queen and Maya's theme. Which is like, why is there a remix of Maya's theme in Persona 3? And then I listened to him like,
I don't know. It's
like, why would they call it Maya's theme? Like, that's something that most people are just not going to get. Maya's theme from The Answer is probably my favorite, one of the 2 serviceable things actually from The Answer.
The Answer at least has some pretty good songs. I am a big fan of Darkness, which is the final boss theme.
Darkness is amazing. Hurtful Cry is way better than it deserves.
Oh, that one's so good, yeah.
It made the killing your friends part slightly less terrible. I still love how the entire killing your friends was because Yukari bitched out.
Oh yeah, like Yukari just causes problems.
Yeah, like, and
it just everything goes to shit.
With pretty much every character in The Answer, it's 2 steps forward, 1 step back. With Yukari, it's 1 forward, 5 back. Because she just recedes into daddy issues hell and just ruins everything for everyone involved.
Yeah, like at least with Junpei and Akihiko, you can kind of see where they're coming from. Like, they're struggling with their own, like, motivations and what they want to do in the situation, but Yukari is just like, let me fuck everything.
Going further down, Polonium Mall, I just love Polonium Mall as, like, a setting and as a concept. Like, its track is fantastic. I love how they, like, the stuff they packed into it just worked. Like, do you have any kind of connection like that to any of the settings in Persona 3? Like, areas you just really enjoy through and through for, like...
I'm a big fan of the dorm. I love the dorm a lot because it's got such a cozy atmosphere, and I love the idea of coming home to, like, your team. Like, in Persona 4 and 5, they're off doing their own shit, but you get home...
Where have you been?
Akihiko just gives you a big fat, where have you been? Like, thanks, man.
Wait, have you ever...
And then you got a guy rapping at you. And it's like, wow, this is great. Like, I want to live there.
Yeah, and then you get... Have you ever seen that one image where it's like everyone's model swapped with Akihiko and it's just where have you been?
I don't think I have.
What else? Oh, I also really like how when shit hits the fan, the theme changes, and it's like the dread of the situation has permeated even the dorm.
Oh, yeah.
Which I thought...
Like, those last winter months, there's a whole little part about that, I think, later on in your notes. But that shit is great.
The atmosphere is great, the writing is excellent. And a lot of people really hate how there's just nothing to do in January. I don't like it, but I understand why they did it.
Yeah, I think it's just there to kind of give you a feeling of dread. Like, oh my god, there's nothing to do. I'm just waiting till my fucking demise.
Or you could be me and do the 100% run, and every day you're doing something different and productive. I think I maxed like 3 social links in January.
Jeez.
And walked Koromaru like 14 times. Did you ever walk Koromaru on the last day before the promise day?
I don't think I did.
If you do, everybody goes with you and you have like a little party in the at the Shrine Park. It's a really nice little moment. Koromaru's running around and everybody's just having a grand old time. And that concludes the first section of my notes, which is, well, it's just a little nothing section. Anything you want to add in for just little random things that don't really fit in anywhere else?
Yeah, like, relating back to the Persona 1 and 2 thing, people seem to act like there's just this damn split straight down the middle that's like P1, 2, and 2 Eternal Punishment, and then like 3, 4, and 5. And like 3 was the last one that at least made an attempt to kind of harken back to those older games.
Yeah.
Like, Persona 4 and 5 have fuck all anything to do with it, but at least with 3, you can see they're making an attempt.
Trying to bridge the abyssal gap between the two games.
Oh, yeah. Like, at this point, there's probably no connecting the two, just because, like, Atlas would probably rather not deal with that.
I mean, I think they even threw out the butterfly being Philemon, because now that's Lavenza.
Yeah, like, I see people that are like, it could be Philemon, but it's just Lavenza's voice speaking to you telepathically, but I'm like, I don't know about that one.
Yeah, it's like, it could be Philemon, but it's probably not Philemon. Let's see, I don't actually have much in terms of the plot section. Is there any...
I don't either.
Yeah, I mean, Persona 3 it's a glacial boil. Like, it's pretty good to okay for the longest time, and then Shinji gets gatted, and then from there it's just consistently ramping it up more and more into probably one of my favorite things in game storytelling ever.
Yeah, like, I struggled to write notes about this story. At the end of it, I just ended up being like, just play it for yourself.
Yeah, just play it for yourself. I mean, we just spoiled the shit out of it. But...
Yeah, right. Like, why are you watching this if you haven't played it? But
yeah, you should probably put a warning like that at the start. Let's see. Oh yeah, I actually didn't write that. Like, around October, when Shinji got the axe, oh wow, irony, he uses axes, haha.
Yeah, haha.
Haha, he's fucking dead. Akihiko's shattered. Ken feels terrible. Haha. You hate Ken, right?
I don't know if I hate him. It just kind of gets on my nerves.
As you probably read, I don't like a lot of the characters in 3.
I feel the same way, and this is just me being a weird bipolar asshole. I like having characters that I don't like.
Oh yeah, same. But I hate them as people, but I like that they're there, and they don't exist to please me.
Oh yeah, like, that to me is a sign of, at least they're effectively written. Like, if they're designed to be a character that you, like, end up having some sort of animosity towards, then that's successful.
Right. Like, the way I see it is Persona 3 and Persona 4 have, like, roughly the same level of social inequality, because 4 has consistently okay links, and 3 fluctuates between amazing and terrible.
Yeah, 3 is definitely peaks and valleys. And 4 is more like, they're all kinda okay, there's, like, some stinkers in there. And then Persona 5, I'd say it's hard to argue that that's not, like, the most quality to quantity ratio.
It's the best cast in terms of, like, average quality. Like, none of them go, like, even further beyond and begin giving you, like, beautiful, amazing stories, but they're all pretty okay. So let's see, I don't know why, but I really hated Junpei on my first run for some reason. Like, I genuinely despised him. I think it comes down to the fact that he was just a flaming cunt for the first, like, 2 months of the game, and I never let that go. Like, you do remember that, right?
Oh yeah, like, he was an asshole, but, like, I never thought that his reasoning was necessarily petty. I felt it was very human of him to be, like, so jealous of the protagonist. Like, they've got that kind of brotherly, like, why are you better than me kind of rivalry going on.
But then I first played this when I was, like, 15, before I grew a brain. Mm-hmm. So I kind of just like, oh, he's a cunt, fuck him, the end.
Yeah, like, Persona 3, I like a lot of the characters' writing, because you can at least see the logic to kind of the madness, I guess.
And yeah, exactly. And you jump cut like 8 years into the future, and it's just Ryuji jumping in front of fucking cars.
Oh yeah, like, the characters in Persona 5, like, the one scene that I actually just hate in Persona 5 is the part where Ryuji and Morgana get into that big fight and Morgana leaves the group. Because to me, that's such, like...
That was just pulled out of the ass for railroading.
Yeah, that's just like a let's make conflict happen.
It was the
moment.
Massive filler arc. I hated that so much.
Yeah, like, I didn't hate it that much, but, like, it's one of those things where it's like, you can definitely tell there's no logical progression to this writing. It just kind of happens. Like, in Persona 3, you can follow through Junpei's whole evolution from, like, whoa, I'm a member of C's, to why is the 3 protagonist so much better than me?
And then it's like, oh god, my girlfriend's dead and I want to die, but I need to save the world for her memory. Like, Junpei has the best character arc in 3. Mm-hmm. Easily.
Like, I'm a huge fan of Akihiko's as well.
Oh, yeah.
But Junpei's is also, like, really good.
I still stand by Eternal Punishment having the most human cast, but who the fuck actually played Eternal Punishment to its completion?
Because... Oh, yeah. Like, I have a conspiracy theory that nobody has ever actually finished Persona 2. Neither of them. I don't think they have. Because I feel betrayed and lied to. Like, these fucking scums spend all this time talking about Persona 1 and 2. They're very similar to Shin Megami Tensei. They have a dark tone, like, deep characters. They don't mess around. It's always very serious. Tatsuya makes motorcycle noises at the demons. It's like, are you fucking kidding me?
I'm getting flashbacks to the one Eternal Punishment scene where I believe the exact words out of Baofu's mouth were, damn bitch, you're drunk. And he's just yelling at Ulala at a bar, and it's fucking amazing.
Yeah, but that's something that I've noticed, especially now that I'm going through, Soul Hackers, is that the whole, like, devil summoner, I guess, timeline is so much more fucking chill.
Yeah, they don't care.
Than, like, yeah, they don't care. Like, Devil's Soul Hackers is just as fun,
it's
like cyberpunky kind
Devil
of
Summoner brand
adventure.
It's just wacky and fun.
Yeah, they have fun with it.
Yeah, like you're a nerd hacker with this big titty goth GF demon girl, and that's just your party.
Yeah, it's fun. Like, it doesn't take itself too seriously, and that's part of the thing that I really don't like about, like, the Megami Tensei community, is that it's like, oh, we gotta be serious. Like, oh, we can't have fun or levity or have characters, like, interacting with each other and not constantly just at each other's throats about, oh, alignments, oh.
It's like fucking Unga Bunga La, Unga Bunga Chaos.
Yeah, it's like, that's not fun, dude. Like, that's interesting to think about.
It's an interesting, like, moral idea, but I really like how human some of the characters like, I'd say in like scale of most human, at like the top, I'd put 3 in Eternal Punishment, then Innocent Sin, and 4, and the rest are just like C and below. Like, you agree with that so far?
I'd say that I kind of believe the Persona 5 people more than the Persona 4 people necessarily. Like, a lot of the shit the Persona 4 people do just doesn't have, like, an internal consistency, I guess. Like, you go through their whole social links, and a lot of the time the social links is about, like Yukiko's is, oh, I don't want to run the inn. And then at the end, she's just like, yeah, I'm gonna run the inn.
Yeah, exactly. They actively turn their backs on what they were, which is a little, I think the whole reason why I do identify with Eternal Punishment's cast the most is because I was personally, I was kind of shoved into adulthood way before I was ready. And I feel like the more adult and personal struggles of the Eternal Punishment cast just worked with me and touched me a lot more than the Innocent Sin, what is going on, the world is falling apart around us, big dumb puberty metaphor thing they got going on. I mean, I say big dumb puberty, like, there's more to it than big dumb puberty metaphor, but that's a big chunk of it, I feel.
Yeah, like, that's why I've always liked the idea of doing like a college themed kind of Persona, even though they probably won't do that just because Japan is, like, completely obsessed with high school.
Yeah, adults or high school, no in between.
Yeah, like, college is so interesting because, like, you can deal with the stress of being an actual real adult while still having that kind of, like, school fun sort of atmosphere, I guess.
Exactly, yeah. It's really, you can do a lot with it, but they're probably not going to touch it, at least not for a while.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we actually went really far off the rails because of Junpei.
Oh yeah.
Although I feel like it's a good well-thought discussion to throw in here. Because I think I told you this before, but I thought I'd just get it on the record. To me, this isn't really like a why I love Persona 3 thing, as the title would make you think. It's really more just a retrospective of how I feel about Persona 3 now that I've spent 14 years in the mountains with Megami Tensei.
Yeah, like, I love Persona 3. It's got problems, obviously, but a lot of that I can kind of sweep under the rug. Like, people complain, oh, Tartarus, and I'm just like, yeah, fucking get over it. But,
like, you wanna know what I did with Tartarus after a while? I left the game on fast forward, put on a podcast, and just went.
Yeah, like, just go. Like, the battles are zippy. You just get through those fights pretty quick, and, like, they're not random encounters. They've got, like, static enemies on the map that you attack and get into a fight with. So it's really not that bad.
Yeah. You can actually avoid, and then they get pants-shittingly scared of you after a while, and you just win.
Yeah, it only takes, like, a couple of floors to reach a checkpoint. You do, like, how many floors, then you go back to your school life. Like, it's really not that bad.
And then there's me, like, Mr. T Batshit, and I did the 100% run where I had to go from level 1 to 14 alone on the first night.
Jesus.
I think it took me 2 weeks to grind up to level 14. That was an adventure and a half, as you can probably guess. Let's see, on to Yukari, it's just... I believe I'm just going to read my notes right here. Fuck Yukari, double fuck Yukari for the answer. There's going to be that one Yukari fan who's just going to screech at me.
Let's see. This is my hot note for Yukari. She's an awful, wretched cunt of a character, but she's at least a well thought out cunt.
That I can live with. I just hated her so much. It just went beyond like my oh, she's woman. It's like, no, she's just a cunt. Fuck you. Get out of my face.
Oh yeah, like I hate Yukari because Yukari is like to me the ultimate like cunty, like, real woman just put into a 2D space. And that's something that I cannot stand about, like, any fictional character is just petty, like, vaginal cuntiness that just exudes from them. Like, Yukari has this hatred, or not this hatred, but, like, this vaginal angst against Mitsuru, and it's really awkward, like, whenever they're on screen, because you can just tell that Yukari's got, like,
I'm jealous of your tits, I'm jealous of your hair, I'm jealous of your body.
Yeah. Like, they go through that, in the story, about how she's really just jealous of how Mitsuru is, like, a quote-unquote perfect woman.
Oh, man, how do hamburgers work?
Yeah, exactly. Like, Mitsuru is, like, as stupid as a pile of rocks when it comes to, like, street smarts.
Like, I remember that one thing during your social link where it's like, man, I just wish I could go on a motorcycle like a movie and drive away. And you're like, yo, bring me with you. And she's like, yeah, that would be pretty fucking cool. And I wish the game just ended right there. Fook is alright. There's one line I love out of her where it's like, there's the enemies have multiple weaknesses, where she sounds even more robotic than Aegis. Mm-hmm. You've like, her voice actress wasn't great.
I've never been on that her voice sucks train. I like it. I think it's kind of cute.
For me, her voice acting isn't bad, it just feels very monotone. Gasp, the enemy.
Yeah, I guess. Like, to me, that's just kind of the way, like, a human talks, you know?
Right. Aegis, yes. She's good. She's pretty good. I like her character arc. Made the answer slightly less unbearable. See,
here's the thing that is interesting, like, with me and Aegis, is that when I first saw Aegis, I hated her. I could not stand her, because here's where I was thinking, is that there's no two ways to do a robot character. A robot character will only ever end up learning, like, what it means to be human, and developing emotions and shit. And so I look at Aegis when she's first introduced, I find out she's a robot. I'm like, this character irritates me, I see exactly where this is going. And that is where it's going. But
they did it well.
Like, towards the end of the game, she was like my second favorite character. Just because her personality is so enjoyable, and like, her story and how she relates to the protagonist and what she goes through and her social link are all so good that I can't help it, even if it is, like, kind of generic in a way. Like, Aegis, the character, I love.
Aegis, the concept you dislike.
Yeah, like I said earlier, there's no two ways to do a robot character, but she's done so well and so fantastically that it's like, I can't even hate it.
Yeah, exactly. On to Shinji. Yeah, I like him. He's good. Could have been better, could have been worse, but...
Yeah, he's okay.
Built to die.
Yeah, he kind of is. Like, I think he works best as motivation and, like, fuel for the rest of C's to keep going. Like, I like the guy decently enough, but I think the screen time he got was sufficient.
You know, one of my friends didn't know that he died and power leveled the shit out of him. Do you ever feel bad for that one crazy Japanese man who got him to level 99 and then had him die?
Oh, yeah, like... Death in RPGs is always one of those things where it's like, mechanically, if you really, really invest into that character, you're kind of fucked.
I mean, yeah, that's something I kind of like about Persona 1, where it's like you can just not get party members.
See, I hate that. I think that's fucking stupid.
Really? Why is that?
Okay, so here's my thinking on that. Can you imagine how fucking dumb it would be if in Final Fantasy VII you had to choose between Tifa or Barret or Aerith?
I never actually played 7.
Okay, what's an RPG you have played? How's about Persona 3?
Go for it.
Can you imagine how fucking dumb it would be if you had a choice between Akihiko or Mitsuru or Junpei? And the other two stopped existing. They just don't show up anymore.
That's actually kind of fair. I'll give you that. I kind of like how Persona 1... I like how it gave you, like, oh, you wander around and you just recruit people accordingly, and they have, like, the characters you get if you get no one.
Like, part of my issue with it is, it's not that they're optional, it's that, like, it's such a weird flow to how you get them. Like, you have to sit there and deny a character joining you to get, like, the other ones. Like, think about how odd that is.
Did you ever hear about this?
In Persona...
There's one character in it called, I think, Ryoji or something, where, like, the stupid roundabout process to get him, like, you have to talk to him, then do the hospital, then do some other shit, then you get him.
Yeah. And, like, that's all without picking up the other two possible people you can get.
Exactly.
Like, think about how odd that would be if, like, a couple hours into Persona 3, Akihiko's like, can I join you? And you have the option to say no, and if you say no, then Mitsuru joins you. Like, think about how strange that would be.
That, you know what, I can give you that, yeah. I did enjoy it, but I can totally see how it would make people lose their fucking minds. That's something similar happens in, I don't quite remember what happens in Innocent Sin, but I know what happens in Eternal Punishment, where after a major event, your party is just like, I'm going home, fuck this, call me tomorrow. Like, there's one bit, I think like a third of the way into Eternal Punishment, where it's like, well, we just narrowly evaded death for the 6th time, I'm going to go home and get drunk, see you tomorrow. And then it's just like Ketsuya is like, yeah, I'm gonna go back to the police station. I have paperwork to do. Bye. And everyone just fucks off for like 2 in-game hours. And I really like that. Where it's like they're still adults, they have lives.
Yeah, that's something that I like a lot more that I think Persona 3 does better, is that Seas feels like an accumulation of individuals brought together for a common purpose. In Persona 4 and 5, they feel more like groups that happen to have individuals in them, if that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. In like 3, it's like when test season rolls on, it's like, yeah, I can't fight with you, I have to go to a test, sorry dude.
Yeah, like they're doing their own shit. In Persona 5, it's like, I can't think of more than 2 occasions where characters talk to each other outside of the group. Like, that's one of the things that I love about Persona 3, is that, like, everybody seemingly has, like, at least one point where they talk to somebody else. Like, Akihiko has scenes where he talks to Mitsuru,
and then there's moments like that,
where he talks to Ken.
That one bit where there's just a table where it's like, I think Ken, Akihiko, and Shinjiro,
like,
Shinjiro was like visibly
people
distressed by this pairing.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I like that quite a bit. Hating Ken is like shooting fish in a barrel. I'll brush over this for now. That's just verbatim from my notes.
Like, I get it. You know, I get it. Yeah, he, like, indirectly, he didn't really kill
like, Shinji was going to die anyways, but fuck Ken.
Yeah, the man had cancer.
He still had, like, 2 weeks to live.
Yeah, he was, like, on death's door anyway. He just made it, the process marginally easier for, Takuya to get the job done, is all.
Yeah, if they would have just, like, sat on his ass for 2 weeks, Shinji would have died anyways. Femc, he lives. Wait.
Yeah,
does he just beat cancer?
No. Okay, Well, let me explain. Okay. So if you max out Shinji's social link with the Ho, this is 15. With the Ho social link, this is 15,000 different levels of stupid. But he's got this watch. I think it's like a pocket watch, and it absorbs the shock of the bullet to the point where Shinji does not die but ends up in a coma.
What?
Yeah. It stops the bullet, or it stops one of them. I think he gets shot twice, actually.
Oh yeah, he does get shot twice, right.
Yeah, he gets shot twice, but the pocket watch or the fucking stopwatch or whatever stops at least one of the bullets, but the shock of it getting hit knocks him into a coma.
What? Oh yeah, I actually gave Shinji a bulletproof vest before that night.
Yeah, it didn't work.
It didn't work. Let's see, and then I want to fuck Akihiko.
I also want to fuck Akihiko.
I think we all want to fuck Akihiko.
Did you know that Akihiko is my favorite Persona character?
Really? Let's hear this.
Okay, so I liked Akihiko's character before the whole Shinji thing. Like, he was a kind of no-nonsense guy who didn't really give hoes the time of day. Like, he had more important things going on in his life. And I like that drive and that motivation to get stronger, right?
Oh yeah, you already know I love shit like that.
Oh yeah, so then Shinji dies, right? And Akihiko has his Persona Awakening. And I didn't know that Persona Awakenings were like a thing that would happen. I just assumed that like other characters, their persona was just that forever. So Akihiko's Persona awakens. And to me, that scene is the ultimate perfect encapsulation of like Persona 3, especially, and just kind of what Persona is about. Because it's this moment of him facing the consequences of death and what it means to be alive and to just keep going forward and to find strength in yourself and the people that are close to you. And he turns that into motivation and physical power, and he keeps going. And to me, that's it. Like, that's Persona.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I totally get that. It's like, that reminds me of, like, I'm going to be honest, I'm getting sucked into the Dragon Ball void, like, a little more every day. I know someday I'm going to fall and get sucked into it. I was remembering, I watched the Frieza fight when I was a little kid.
Yeah.
And it's like Goku's entire group of friends getting completely vaporized is what pushed him into being a Super Saiyan. I feel like that's a similar thing here. Just being like so overcome with how shit everything is and channeling that power into actually solving the problem. Which is just like, when you were going on about like how amazing that was, that's just what I saw, and I don't know why I don't like Dragon Ball. Strega, I forget these people exist sometimes.
Yeah, me too. I think they're definitely kind of weak villains.
They get swept under the rug in the face of, like, Adachi and Goro.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, I can at least talk about, Goro for a length of time. I can't think of shit to say about these guys most of the time. Like, I did a video about them.
Yeah, I remember.
And that's all the thoughts I could ever have about them as a group and as characters.
I watched that video, and I can't remember a single thing you said.
Yeah, I can barely remember shit I said. Yeah, they definitely needed something. They're missing a certain secret sauce, and you would think, like, Takaya killing Shinji would be kind of a big deal.
That's the only thing I remember them ever doing.
Oh, yeah. It just, doesn't matter.
Didn't the chick have, like, a hidden fire axe?
Yeah, she fights with, like, a fire axe that's attached to a chain.
How the fuck does that even work?
I don't know.
Oh, God. It's like, when I was writing my notes, I couldn't remember what the fuck the blue-haired guy's name even was.
Jin.
Yeah, I remember that after. It's like, I'm sort of reading my notes or reading here. I don't care about about Explosive Nerd. I can't even be fucked to remember his name. Jin? Question mark? It's like, Chidori, she's fine when she stops.
Yeah, like, Chidori at least has a relationship with Junpei.
And that's why she's even slightly memorable. Now, you want to talk about how you can bring her back to life in Fez?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know how you can do that. It's very silly.
It was like something like the flower energy brought her back to life, and it's like, that kind of defeats the point.
Yeah, you have to do, like, some ridiculous shit. It's like, you need to talk to Junpei every single day from a certain stretch of time, and then like, do some other weird shit.
It's actually talk to him 3 times on 3 very specific days, and I'll be like, oh, I'll go visit her in the hospital or something. And I'll be like, oh, you remember that flower she brought back to life in a cutscene?
Yeah.
He lays it down on her corpse, and the energy she put into that flower goes into her body enough to kickstart her body back to life. No, I can just imagine the horror of that morgue attendant in the Kirijo estate or whatever, who's like, why is this body coming back to life, and just freaking the fuck out. She has no memories, by the way, it's just amnesia because reasons? Like, there's no real reason for her to be an amnesiac in this situation.
I guess it's because she was, like, technically dead? So she was brain dead, so then she lost her memories or something?
I feel like this is another thing we weren't supposed to think about, like Trish. You know in Arena, Junpei's like, I'm doing this for you, Chidori, or something, in one of his intros, and it's like, is this like she's dead, or is it like she's alive and he wants him to notice her again?
Yeah, I've seen like genuine arguments break out over this.
I think that's how I heard about it to begin with.
Yeah, because some people swear up and down that there's parts in Arena where he just straight says, like, yeah, Chidori, whatever. And, like, most of the lines that I remember are just him, like, alluding to her previously existing, like, oh, I'm doing this for Chidori, like, yeah.
Like, that could be taken either way, and I feel like that was intentional.
Yeah, I'm sure it is, because they don't want to, like, say either way if she's there or not. Like, I don't think they'll ever show her physically alive and moving about. I think they'd rather keep it kind of ambiguous.
It's like in Catherine, where it's like, I'm coming for you, and then he says Catherine, but the subtitles are ...
Yeah, the thing that's interesting about Catherine in Japanese is that, as far as I'm aware, both Catherine's names are spelled the same way, So a lot of the time he'll be like, oh, da-da-da, Catherine. And it's kind of up to your interpretation, well, which Catherine? Like in the English releases, it's like C. Catherine, K. Catherine. So you can tell. But in the Japanese, it's a lot more ambiguous.
And then there's me, where I got true neutral, answering honestly, I'm like, fuck both these whores. I'm gonna go jerk off to wrestling. Continuing along, Koromaru is a treasure.
There's not really much you can say about him, he's a dog.
I remember, like, the rank 10 with Koromaru is just like, it's woof exclamation mark, maxed strength social link. How do you even do a social link with a dog? That's what I'm wondering.
Dude, I don't know. Like, the Femc has some sort of magical power that lets her talk to anything that's possibly fuckable. So, she just makes it happen, dude. I don't know.
Going back to Strega, because I went back to Koro, because I think I just forgot to talk about him earlier. Revolver Jesus. I only put Revolver Jesus because I forgot his actual name until you said it.
His name's Takaya, yeah. Most people just call him Revolver Jesus. Nobody really remembers much about him.
He's just like the guy who looks like a Limp Bizkit backup drummer.
Yeah, I see it.
He's really dumb. And I love how he just wears a gun on his belt in Japan.
Yeah.
Like he's just going to, I see him going to get groceries or something, and there's just a gun at his hip, and no one questions it because they don't want to get shot.
He goes grocery shopping in the dark hour. Like, there's one cashier that, like, can do shit in the dark hour. It's like, what's up, guy?
Now on to what's probably going to be the bulk of the character section, the social links section.
Actually, before we continue, I wanted to talk about a certain blue-haired individual.
I forgot to write about... I heard blue hair, I'm like, oh, Elizabeth. I'm like, wait.
Elizabeth's hair is not blue. Let me talk about the protagonist, because I love the Persona 3 protagonist very dearly, because I think that he is the perfect, like, character design for this type of game. Allow me to explain.
He has the same faggy haircut as I do.
Yeah. So, here's what I've got in my notes. He's that kind of emo, stay-at-home kid that was always kind of a part of us. He doesn't want to be bothered, or make friends, or talk to people in general. He just wants to listen to his music and be left alone. This is the perfect setup for a game about forming bonds.
I look at him, and then I look at how my behavior when I'm eating alone in IHOP, and I just, like, I want to cry.
Oh, yeah. Like, the Persona 3, I think there's always going to be that, like, that mid-2000s part of us that's like, fuck making friends. Like, I hate life, you know? Like, that's him. That's who that guy is. And the fact that he's so, like, he doesn't have any friends, and he's, like, he's not really ostracized, but he's just kind of like, he's new. You know, he's new and he's having a rough time integrating. Like, Narukami just got in and everybody was like, whoa, new kid.
Whoa, dude, fucking... everyone just wanted his dick right out of the gate.
Oh, yeah. Like, I think Persona 5 did that a lot better because the guy in Persona 5, everybody thinks he's just scum. Like, most people assume he's some weird rapist or something.
Yeah, because that's how it would actually work. It's like, dude, I look back at my middle school poetry and I just see, oh god... Have you ever looked back on shit from those days and just like, okay, this is a story, and I'm probably going to regret saying this on the mic, but I used to draw Sonic OCs, and I had this massive, like, plastic binder full of them, like, one end to one end. I think it was like a 4-inch binder full of Sonic OCs, and there just came a day where I found it while you were moving, and I just burned it in the backyard. I just fucking burned it. Nobody will ever find that because it's just a pile of melted plastic and ashes in a pile of leaves in the backyard of my old house. Oh god, I'm gonna regret saying that on the mic someday. So, what else comes to mind for you?
Let's see, I've got this wonderful note here. Most normies who have lame things like friends tend to miss this detail about him. They are usually the same types of people who do not care about things like character development, themes, character motivation, and usually end up liking the femc.
You are spitting all kinds of fire, dude.
I like the femc's aesthetic a lot, and I think she's
I
cute.
love her design, and I really like her animations. Like, she's very well animated, and her track is fantastic.
But yeah, like, the main character of Persona 3, I think, was very intentionally designed to kind of give off that vibe of, like, the people that they assumed would be playing this game. Like, a guy who's kind of a loser, who's, like, ever so slightly emo, and doesn't really want to make friends. And that's why they're playing this video game, to make friends. And so to have this, like, peppy, popular girl character
who is treated pretty much identically just doesn't work.
Like, she's not even treated identically. Like, a lot of characters in their social links, like Akihiko especially, does, like, very weird shit. Like, he's like quit C's at one point. He says that. He's like, stop, like, just give up. And
what?
It's not because... Yeah, he says that. He's like, he doesn't want to see you get hurt, so he's like, just give up. Just quit C's.
But isn't his whole thing, like, strength and... that does... Oh my god, I didn't know.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he treats her like a fucking child.
But no, Akihiko does not treat people like a princess, as he's like full meritocracy.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, Akihiko doesn't take fucking shit from anybody, and that's why he respects Mitsuru so much, because she's like a boss bitch.
Exactly, and then he's just cucked by her and probably deals with a light session of pegging every fucking night. So it's, yeah, I've done every single social link in a single run, so I've, like... seeing all of this in a row, and I noticed that at the end of every single one, it's a promise that you'll come back. Mm-hmm. And I look at that, and then I get to the end, I'm like, and doing the 1% run broke my heart more than beating the game normally. Yeah. Like, in the part where the power of friendship comes on, and it's just person after person after person after person, it's so good. And then at the end, where I'm going through all of the people, and I'm talking, like, you know how they all have little epilogues? Mm-hmm. It's like how I've changed all of these people's lives in ways that they will never be able to think before, and then you die. Dude, it destroyed me.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I never really thought about until now, is that pretty much all the social links in Persona 3 kind of have this theme of, like the characters' futures together. Like, especially with a lot of the female characters. Yeah, like, Yuko is just straight up like, we're gonna have kids someday.
And then the little kid is like, oh, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna marry you someday. You're a really nice dude. And it's like clearly childish, I'll marry you thing, but it's like, oh.
Yeah, like Bebe leaves to go back to wherever the fuck he's from. France. Who cares? Yeah. And then he's like, oh, we will meet again. No, we won't.
Okay, did you see what I wrote about Bebe in my notes?
Yeah.
I am the biggest dweeb. Hand me my baguette. Hon hon hon.
Baguette. My baguette.
Baguette. Alright, so it's, first off, I'm going to start with, in my inglorious Edwin fashion, where I start with things I fucking hate. That's kind of a thing I do, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, hey, you start with the bad, end with the good. So, first of all, I hate Kenji.
I can't really hate the guy. If this was an episode of The Confidants, I would probably give his, like, a meh. I can't really bring myself to hate it.
It's like, keep it in your fucking pants. Like, I don't like how dumb he is and how, like, ignorant he is of how, like, she's not actually into you fucking idiot. Stop.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I found it kind of funny.
Oh, dude, for me, at the very end where he's, like, shattered and it's rank 9, so I can say I can say whatever I want and still get the rank 10. Mm-hmm. And where it's like, console him, tell him you're sorry, laugh. I laugh every time. He's like, haha, it's really funny, isn't it? Then he, like, jumps off a railing. Something. Or he just, like, busts his ass on a fountain. I don't quite remember. It's been over a year since I played. Oh my god. The year of Megami Tensei started a year ago. Whoa.
Dude, 2008 was 20 years ago.
Wait. I had to, like, actually think there.
You had to think about it.
And then there's a Bebe. I already talked about Bebe. I hate him so fucking much.
Yeah, I don't like him.
Zagorius Nippon? Yes?
Yeah, like, the character just irritates me.
I remember, like, I was looking at the 100% guide, and it's like, you hang out with Bebe today, and I was like, oh.
Oh, no, please.
I was, like, noticeably angry that I had to exist around Bebe.
Bebe looks exactly like me.
Oh, you're right.
Like, if you pop some glasses onto Bebe, that's me.
Oh, God.
Here's my conspiracy theory. If Bebe did not have the accent,
he would actually be
would the link be any... Yeah, he'd be, like, at least...
Like, reading his dialogue is genuinely painful.
Right, it's the way he speaks that ruins it.
Like, I can deal with weeb, like, weeb transfer student, but the accent just killed it.
Right, it's that combination of I'm a weeaboo who doesn't speak English quite right. Like, that's bad.
Exactly. And then it's on to the Gourmet King, and I don't even remember why I hated this man. I just do.
Me and Flair, we have plans to make a video about, like, how not to do a social link, because we always rag on this guy. And it's kind of hard to give an explanation that doesn't go on for a couple of minutes, but I think like, the two major problems going on with the guy is that he's visually unappealing as fuck, and he doesn't learn a lesson.
I think that might have been it, although, like, my thing was, like, maybe it's, like, some subconscious he's fat and hates himself, and I'm also fat and hate myself. I'm sad.
Yeah, I don't, like, he's such a scummy person.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not even in, like, a fun, scummy kind of way. Like, Tanaka and Mutatsu...
Tanaka plays it up in like, comic... Like, Tanaka feels like a Devil Summoner character.
Like, he's funny. There's, like, a fun to the scumminess of how, like, kind of shady he is.
Like, how comically evil he is.
Yeah, and, like, Mutatsu is this guy who's made genuine mistakes and, like, is remorseful
and
for
he just drinks
the shit that
himself
he's done.
every night into a fucking...
Yeah, but there's at least something to feel sorry about. Like, with this guy, he's just, like... Oh,
Didn't
God.
his brother die for him or something, and it's victim complex shit?
Yeah, it's something like that. It's like, I don't care, dude. You're so repulsive.
Now, this is like a question I just want to ask to the people who are going to watch this. Is he actually universally hated? I legitimately want to know.
I think he's pretty universally disliked. Like, I never see him pop up in, like, the great social links of Persona 3 type shit.
Like, in B4, it's like, oh yeah, the guy has talked about how, like, the creator of him talks about how much he actually loves Nozomi, and it's like, you know, fucking Shigechi is Araki's fourth favorite JoJo character?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, in B4, it's something like that, and we just sit there like, what? Like, the only person I've ever seen Nozomi was a guy I know from V that is just, like, in true V fashion, he's just a contrarian, like, prick.
Right, of course.
So I feel like that's part of it, but I'm not quite sure. There's just Yukari with mommy issues. We already ragged on Yukari enough. I'm gonna let her sleep and PMS in her fucking bed.
Like, I can't bring myself to hate the Link. Like, the way I see it, there's a difference between
hate because
Link...
they're bad and hate because they're, like, terrible people.
Yeah, I guess it's a writing issue. Like, the reason why I hate links that have bad writing, like, Yukari has good writing about an infuriating subject that makes her a cunt. So to me, that makes her at least, like, a meh. Like, I think it's an okay link. It's Yukari, so I'm kind of naturally prone to not liking it.
Yeah, I get you.
But I think it's a great view into why she's like that. It's not an excuse, but it's a good view into why.
Like, from Persona 3 through 5, I've consistently, like, been meh or hated the lovers link. I know in Persona 1, the lovers girl was, like, the here Persona girl that wanted to throw down a flight of stairs. Although, I think the one lovers character I don't hate is, Lisa Silverman. She's pretty good. I do like her little character arc. She definitely gets better as Innocent Sin goes along, and I hope you come to the same conclusion.
I actually like An a lot from Persona 5.
I have a lot of issues with her. Then again, I feel like for me, if I don't like a character's design, I genuinely struggle to enjoy them as a character. Which I feel like was a part of it, because I didn't like the Panther outfit, and I just don't like the twin pigtails look at all.
I think she's cute. Her voice actress is actually going to be at my local WeebCon this
Oh, that's
summer.
pretty sweet. I remember seeing the one video of her voice actor trying to play Persona 5. I'm like, this is cute and kind of interesting, but has this woman ever played a video game before?
Yeah, like, a lot of voice actors
don't actually play the games. Like, that's why I saw Sean Chim, like, oh, that's actually really fucking cool. Alright, now on to social links I just don't care about. Like, I'm just completely mediocre to them. Or, like, meh. Kazushi. I'm expecting a who?
Yeah, that's a chariot guy.
Yeah, it's like, for me, it's like, cool. You fixed your knee, that's nice. Give me Thor. Chihiro, like, I see her as a character that's, like, pure to the point where it bled over into being terrible.
Yeah, like, I think she's okay. Her link is kind of, like, standard, I guess. Like, it's fine.
Like, the clinginess makes me genuinely uncomfortable because I've had some very bad experienced women in my life, dude. Dealing with women like her is why I've sworn off dating until I get through with college. Because I just do not have the time to deal with people that are like this.
See, I've had the opposite problem. I've had, like, anti-cling to where they don't stick on me.
Where they just, like, actively avoid you?
Yeah.
Sometimes I wish I were you. Then there's Yuko. She's sweet, but she's just not my type.
I like her. I think she's cute.
I don't like people that constantly think about the future, because you just don't know where things are going to go for you. Like, have a plan, but don't be so strict about it, is how I see it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'd rather have her, like, at least thinking about it.
Yeah. She's going to...
Like, I'd prefer that over a YOLO, like, who cares kind of mentality.
Yeah, like me, or it's like, I don't have just that, like, she just has the one plan of, like, get pregnant for Gorillion Children Orphanage, or whatever her plan was. For me, it's like, if you have a plan, have backups, because life really likes to fuck your shit up, dude.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Then on to Mamoru. Mamoru? I forgot who he was since I took these notes.
He's the star guy, and I actually don't like this guy's Link very much. I like this one a lot less than Kaz's, because I feel like they're way too similar.
This guy is literally perfect.
Yeah, they're both, like, athlete guy who have problem with family.
Like, he
me,
lives with, like,
too
20 people in a shit apartment. It's like, how do you live?
Yeah.
Good old Japan, where it's like, oh, they're black, they must have, like, 17 brothers, right? I feel like the Persona developers have never seen a black person.
Well, I'm sure they haven't. It's Japan. You know?
Going on to Fuka, as someone who really likes to cook and bake, it physically pains me to talk to her. Like, stop. Honey, no. It's like art. Some people are just terrible at it. Please stop.
Yeah, like, there's other pursuits. Like, I respect the drive to, like, keep trying with this thing that you're passionate about.
But there's a point where you just need to give up.
Yeah.
Like, I'm fucking bread dad over here, where it's like, I can make you, people look at me, it's like, why the fuck can you cook? You're the guy. I'm like, it's fun. That's really all I can say. I just like to cook and bake, and Fuka physically pains me. Then there's Pharos. It's a plot link. Feels kind of standard.
Yeah, it's neat, but it's like...
It's a neat idea.
I think that's one of the few, like, story-based links that doesn't piss me off, except for, like, the group links. A lot of the links in, like, 4 and 5... Yeah, a lot of the ones in 4 and 5 that, like, keep going through the story, like, piss me off really bad. But this is one of the few that's, like, pretty okay. I guess it's because it has to do with the plot a lot.
Yeah, it's literally tied to you as the character. Now on to the links I enjoyed. I'm saying, like, enjoyed is, like, the 6 out of 10 to 8 out of 10 range. First we have Maiko, the lolly. I feel like this is another thing of, like, personal feelings bleeding over into the game. Like, that's something that I've noticed a lot with Persona 3. A lot of my personal, like, life and experiences have bled over into these characters, and I just feel for them. I feel this, like, the most with Eternal Punishment in 3. Like, those two combined is just like, wow. It hits me like a truck, dude. Mm-hmm. Like, I look at Maiko, I'm like, yeah, being a younger kid and dealing with parental divorce, you just don't know what's going on.
Yeah. Like, my parents got divorced when I was about 2 or 3-ish, so I have no memories of them being together. And it's probably better.
Oh, yeah, I was 10. Mm-hmm. And, like, I still have fond memories of the day where shit actually hit the fan. And I think I spent 3 or 4 hours with the neighbor, who was this kindly old man. Like, he could not harm a fly. Like, genuine saint of an old man. I just spent the whole afternoon with him. It was... And then I look at her, and she's clinging to this other person for support and help, because they're older and wiser, and they actually know what to say and to help. And it's just, I see myself in her position, and I get it. On to Mitsuru. I just want to read my notes verbatim here. Like, I just love her link because of how ridiculous it is.
Oh yeah, it's great. I love teaching her how to eat a burger.
Yeah, I have it just written down right here. How do I hamburger Dorkun help? And it's like the mental image of Mitsuru in a biker outfit. Like, she's fantasizing about, like, man, what if I just leave right now? And then it's like, I just imagined her on a motorbike, just hair flowing in the wind, peeling out down the highway, and I just lost my shit. And there's Hidetoshi, Emperor. I love him. He's a cunt.
Yeah, I like him a lot. I always love the Emperor characters. For some reason. I just have, like, an attachment to them, and I always love their personalities and kind of the shit they go through. Mm. And Hidetoshi's, like, kind of an ass, but I kind of respect the hustle, you know? Like, he's an ass, but he's got a good reason for it.
I believe the Emperor in Persona 2 is Tetsu. Like in the way Persona 2 works, it's like their main arcana and secondary arcana. Yeah. There is no direct Emperor in 2, I believe, but I believe Tetsuya's secondary card is the Emperor.
For some reason, I thought Ikichi was the Emperor for a long time.
I think he's Hanged Man or Death.
He's Death. For some reason, he just gives off, like, Emperor character traits.
Yeah, like, very cocky, very pompous. Although, like...
Yeah, like, the thing that defines the Emperor is that they're this guy that thinks they're hot shit, that has some, like, crippling self-esteem issue that's, like, really fucking with them.
Yeah, that's actually Ikichi to, like, a fucking T. You don't even know. Up to Keisuke, I only remember his link because you got your skull fractured by a cardboard box. You remember that?
Yeah.
I still remember how horrible it looked, where they didn't make an animation where you actually falling over, so it just dinks off of your head like it's an attack in Paper Mario, and it just cuts to black. And there's Mutatsu, where it's just like, I've listened to a lot of people just neck deep in a bottle, just going on about their story. It's like just another thing of, I know what it's like to be in that situation. Like the listening part, not actually drinking. If I drink, I die. My liver's awful. You remember the drunk Resident Evil 4 stream.
Oh yeah, you downed like a whole bottle of wine and you were completely unintelligible.
What was like I was going on about how my feelings about Persona 5 and I changed my rating for it every other sentence.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, you couldn't make up your mind if you hated it or if you're like, it was actually my favorite Persona. Like, you never actually said that.
I was fucking gone. Oh god, that was a fun night. I remember when I was like 13, my sister got me a quote-unquote non-alcoholic bottle of wine. And mind you, I have a liver to the point where a fingernail's depth of wine will have me laughing at a wall. So I'm like, oh cool, this is really sweet tasty wine. I'll drink the whole thing in one day.
Holy shit.
And I actually spilled it all over my computer, my laptop, and the thing just shut down, so I'm sitting there like stumbling, wiping wine out of my computer. Bunkichi and Mitsuko, the old couple. How did you feel about them?
So I'm kind of biased because I have a genuine loathing of old people.
Oh,
but those guys are pretty good old people.
Yeah, I hate old people, but I like them because they're not dicks about it, and their, like, horrible, degenerative mental illness isn't too overpowering of how good they are as characters.
Yeah, like, working as a grocery store cashier for the time I did made me realize that most elderly are scum.
Oh, yeah. Dude, did I tell you about, like, my horrifying times as a yogurt store clerk?
I don't think so, no.
There was this one, like, 50-year-old pregnant woman who'd come in
50?
every single night I worked. Every night, without fail, that I worked, she would be there. And I'd cough, and she'd demand that I get the manager to get her food for her. Like, oh god. Don't work retail. Just don't. Like, this is from, like, the Ed and Fither combined message. Don't work retail. Work for a family restaurant or something. They'll treat you like not shit.
Work for anything else.
Work for anything else. Like, choose scum corporate job over working retail.
Oh yeah.
You will hate yourself so much less.
They actually treat you like you're not human.
On to, I just wrote quote-unquote Maya here. I mean, it's Miss... Oh my
Toriumi.
God. Toriumi. I almost said Tsukiyomi. I'm like, where the
Miss Tsukiyomi.
Where the fuck did I even hear Tsukiyomi?
Tsukiyomi is the goddess of the moon in fucking Japanese mythology.
Okay, well... So it's like, man, why is this link so good? I hate that this link was so good. Fuck. That's read right off my notes.
Yeah, like, I think when I first played Persona 3, I didn't really like it, but now that I can kinda, like, just accept it for how fucking funny it is, I think it's great.
Dude, Lemonade? Rufflecopter?
The fact that it's your teacher saying all this shit, too.
Exactly. Like, there's still that one that I love at the very end where it's just like, I'm so mad right now. Oh god, I swear if that woke up my parents. And then there's, just President Tanaka.
Great look.
I just wrote, he cool, he quick, it's fucking Slick Dick Rick. And then it's Debes, and it's just Akinari. How do you feel about Akinari?
Before, like, the first time I played, I wasn't really crazy about it. Like, I thought it was pretty good, but after I kind of understood what Persona 3 was about and what it kind of meant to me, I was like, oh shit. This is actually the perfect encapsulation of this video game.
Exactly, like, I still stand by it being the best Link from Persona 3 through 5. The one complaint is that when he dies, he just vanishes from existence at the very end. You remember that where he just fades out of existence at rank 10?
Mm-hmm.
And, like, after he's gone, it's like, rank up, and it's like, And those last 2 days, if you go to the bench where he was, his mother will be sitting there saying, oh, you were that person my son talked about a lot, right?
Yeah.
He'd always talk about his notebook, but I could never quite find it, and you could tell her, oh, you mean this. And she'll read through it, and I don't quite remember how she reacts, but I think she just starts crying and thanks you.
Actually, that guy's book that he wrote is mentioned again in Persona 4.
Yeah, I remember that. Wasn't it a bestseller or something?
Yeah, it's like, I think it's in Kanji's Social Link where it's mentioned.
Yeah, I think it was Kanji. I remember one of my friends who, like, adores Persona 4 talking about that. So on to the music of Persona 3. I'm actually very iffy on Persona 3's soundtrack because I just don't like hip-hop and pop at all. And all the tracks I do genuinely enjoy from Persona 3 are, like, the more orchestral instrumental stuff.
Yeah, the more somber kind of shit.
Like Polonium Mall, when the moon's reaching out over the stars, Maya's theme, living the Iwatodai range of living with determination, Memories of the School, Blues in the Velvet Room, and fucking Shocker, the battle for everyone's souls. Now, notice the distinct lack of mass destruction in the poem for everyone's souls.
I can understand mass destruction. What's your problem with the poem for everyone's souls?
That's simple. Like, this is just a retroactive thing where it's just like, I just think the rendition of the poem for everyone's souls in Persona 1 is the best. Like, that's just my personal favorite of them. And I feel like it just overshadows the others, like, to me personally. Like, it's still good, but it's definitely not my favorite. Also, furthermore, with Persona 3's music, I'm just really picky with my rep. Like, I can count on one hand the rappers I actually like, and it's Sold Out and Lotus Juice, and that's really all I've got. Jap rap especially is really hard to get right to me. Yeah, Jap rap. Have you never heard that before?
I don't think I have.
Well, now you have. It's fucking... Another odd thing I've noticed with Persona 3 through 5 plus Q is I've always preferred the first final boss theme over the second final boss theme.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Or it's like you have the battle for everyone's souls versus Burn My Dread Last Battle, the Almighty versus the Genesis, the Eldabath versus Our Beginning, and Battle in the Clock Tower versus the Infinite. It's just
I think I like the Infinite a little bit more. But otherwise, yeah.
I did not like the Infinite. I think it's because I didn't even get to listen to the whole song because I killed the boss in 2 turns. The overworld map theme in Persona 3 is genuinely one of my favorites.
Oh yeah.
Like when the oh god, I had the name right here. Like if I had to give my tier list of like my top 3 overworld themes in Persona, it would be when the moon's reaching out stars. Is that distant morphing I hear? Any thoughts on the music you want to go for?
Yeah, so I think Persona 3 soundtrack is great just because of how different it is from the norm. Like,
oh yeah.
Who's the maniac that decided that the battle theme was going to be rap?
Oh my god. I got to the point with Mass Destruction. Like, Mass Destruction was the reason why I played my first run of Persona 3 without sound.
Oh my god.
No sound at all. I was so,
That's
like, traumatized by Persona 3 that I just shut down the sound altogether for the last, like, 2/3 of the game.
See, I have enormously more tolerance for Mass Destruction than, Persona 1's battle theme. What is it, A Lone Prayer?
Oh, dude, I hate the PSP rendition of that song
that
so much.
That fucking song drives me insane.
It's
I actually hate
for,
hearing
like,
it.
the first 3 times you hear it, and then it just actively gives you more migraines every time you hear it. Like, I lucked out. I played with the PSX. I played with the PS1 soundtrack.
Like, the PS1 soundtrack, the battle theme is great. Like, that's rock and roll as shit.
Oh, yeah. Like, Persona 1 and 2 soundtrack are, like, great across the board to me. Mm-hmm. But then it's like... I actually read on PG, like, this guy talked to a bunch of people that played Persona 1 PSP, and they all said the same thing. Lone Prayer is great the first 10 times you hear it, then it slowly gives you worse and worse migraines.
Yeah.
Every single one of them agreed to this. Yeah, Mass Destruction, no.
I like it.
No.
I'm into it.
I hated it, and then I wrapped back around to thinking it's okay, and then I hated it again. And like, it pulled a Junpei, but then it went back on its word.
It pulled a double Junpei.
It pulled a double Junpei, except it didn't come back the second time. I didn't really ask, like, do you have any more things to say about characters?
Not particularly. I think I've said pretty much, like, I can talk about Persona characters all day, but I think I've gotten my thoughts across, really.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know what? You missed the social link, I guess.
Oh, fuck. I did. I kind of included her in the fuck, marry, kill thing, and I just forgot to talk about her.
Yeah.
Her link, I enjoyed it, and then it's like the end, it's like, oh, I'm gonna bang Igus, how is this going to work? And then you finger her neck, and it's just, like, am I the only, like, were you also physically uncomfortable when that happened?
I thought it was kind of, like, cute, I guess. Not cute's maybe not the right word, but touching, I guess, is better.
Yeah, touching.
Yeah, touching. Because, like, what you're doing is you're leaving a physical imprint of your being. Like, Igus is like, nobody is ever supposed to touch this. Like, that's her CPU. And you're just leaving, like, your finger oils and, like, your DNA on there. And you are permanently ingrained into her being.
Now, here's the gameplay section. A lot of this is just, like, how I see the gameplay Persona 3 retroactively after my 14 months in the mountains. So you have anything to say before I sweep this whole section away?
I think Persona 3 gameplay is pretty good. Like, it's not quite as complex as, like mainline Shin Megami Tensei or some other games, but I think it's good.
Now,
I like it a lot.
Some, like, some Persona 1, 2 fans would have hated me for this, but I really like some of the quality of life shit in 3.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I originally hated shuffle time in Persona 3, and then I dealt with, like, the card grinding in Persona 1 and 2. I'm like, just give me shuffle time back, please.
The card grinding in Persona 2 actually needs to kill itself.
Oh, yeah. You can play Eternal Punishment if you want, but you're not going to have fun. Like, you get the story and the amazing characters, but actually playing the game is going to be a nightmare, and I pity you. Someone's going to shit on me for that. Almost. I'm certain of it.
Oh, yeah. Like, something that I've noticed about, like, the Megami Tensei community in particular is that they have this problem with, like, common sense, I guess, in terms of game design. Like, they would sacrifice, like, having to struggle just to be able to say, oh, look at me. I fucking went through this arduous, stupid shit. Aren't I just a better human for it, you know?
Getting Ultimate Personae... Oh, God, Persona... Yeah, I always forget that. In Persona 1 and 2, it's Personae, but in 3 through 5, it's Personas. Like, getting the Ultimate Personae in fucking in Eternal Punishment was an actual hell on earth. And then I had to grind, like, the perfect spells for optimal fusion spell capacity on top of that. I mean, I got some fun out of it, but it was not worth it. I actually do have a newfound respect of, like, how snappy Persona swapping is in 3 through 5.
Oh, absolutely. That shit is, like, zip.
And then in Persona 1, it's like, cool, every character has, like, 3 Persona they can switch in, but what if you fuck up and put on the wrong character, then you're just fucked.
Yeah.
Although I like how 2 did it more, but I like how snappy and responsive it is in 3. In 2, it's just, like, a massive pool of, like, 12 Personas that everyone can swap between at will.
That's such a weird concept to me.
Yeah. Like, looking at how Personas evolve as, like, a use and tool through the series is really jarring to me. Mm-hmm. Like, it went from, like, Butterfly Man in another dimension, like, kill some demons, my dude, to, like, emotional trauma incarnate, and then in 4 it's like, oh, TV dimension powers, and then in 5 it's like, oh, fucking metaverse, that's it, metaverse powers. And it's just like, they've evolved from, like, things that are a part of the characters to, like, just tools for an alternate dimension.
See, I don't know, I disagree. I think it's the other way around. I think in 3, 4, and 5 they're much better reflections of who the characters are. And in one and both of the 2 games, they're more like just tools that can be swapped and changed around at will.
Like, the starting Personas in Eternal Punishment, I feel like they're very reflective of how the people are, but outside of that, the swapping feels kind of like a little smash and passy. Although, like, the starting Persona designs of the Eternal Punishment cast specifically, and their ultimate Personas, I feel like they're very reminiscent and I enjoy it. This goes for 3 through 5 in general, but the railroading does get a little bit annoying for me at some points.
Yeah.
I feel like 5 was the worst with the railroading.
Yeah.
Like, they all have moments where you're just, like, on rails for, like, weeks on end, but the sheer amount of times 5 did it and took you away from the action for so long where you have no control whatsoever, I did not like that.
Yeah, that's definitely, like, for me, the low point of Persona 5 is around,
like, the middle, like, the second half of the game where it just starts melting.
Yeah, like, especially, this is one stretch that I fucking hate, and it's everything from about when, like, Ryuji and, Morgana have their whole little shit fit, and towards, like, the end of Okumura's palace. That's just, like...
Like, Haru just appears, and it's like, oh, she awakened off camera, and you just missed half these moments with her.
The funny thing is, she didn't even awaken. She, like, half awakened. Which is so fucking strange.
Yeah, it's like, Haru kind of just appears in the plot, and I really feel like they could have done more justice with her character.
Absolutely, yeah.
And then, like, 4 has its railroady moments. 3...
I think 3 handles it kind of the best.
3 does handle it the best. Like, it definitely has its moments, but they mostly just skip over the days where you can't do shit, so it's not, like, sitting there dealing with text that doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think it's just kind of the way the game is structured, where every full moon, the plot will progress. That kind of lets it, like, pace itself better, I guess.
Better breathing room, for sure.
Yeah.
Now, this is another thing that's probably going to get me shit, but I like social links as a mechanic. Really, I like literally turning the power of friendship into a physical weapon.
Yeah, that shit's great.
Or a metaphysical weapon, but you get my point. There's something so wacky and anime about it. Like, it's like, oh, I want to use the power of friendship to do my final attack. It's like, no, I'm just going to summon magic with the power of friendship. Fuck you, die.
Yeah, like, Persona is one of the only series where the power of friendship has some sort of basis in, like, reality.
And it's an actual physical, it's an actual weapon that you can wield. Any closing thoughts out of you?
Yeah, so I've got, I wrote my own little section, my secret notes.
Let's hear your super secret closing notes.
Okay, so this is my super secret final thing about Persona 3. What does Persona 3 mean to you?
Oh, that's good. That's good. I like that. To me, I feel like the game is just a genuine glimpse. Like, it's a character that interacts and exists around people dealing with every possible issue that people can go through developmentally. Like, there's people who have issues with being in a new place. There's people who have issues with, like, regrets and remorse. There's family issues. There's death. Dealing with your imminent demise. It's all things that we're going to deal with at some point. And this person is like your character, and therefore you are living these people's trauma and what they have to go through. Ultimately ending to this point where it's just... Oh god, you're really putting me on the spot here. Fuck. Where it's like, you get it. And it really helps put into perspective what we all have to deal with at some point in our lives. Like, we're all going to feel bad about our body. We're all going to have to deal with parents. We're all going to have to deal with...
Getting old.
We're all going to have to deal with people that died. And everything like that under the sun. I feel like that's why Persona 3 speaks to me as much as it does. Like, I'm a happy, chirpy motherfucker, but goddamn, for like 6 years, everything sucked. And I played Persona 3 in the middle of that, like, I think in 2015-ish. Like, I think it was like 2012 through to like freshman year of high school, where everything was just terrible. And that's when I thought, okay, I'll just play Persona 3 for the shits. Let's see what it's like. I hear all about this classic PlayStation 2 game, and I don't regret that at all. I don't regret that month, that where I sat down and beginning to end just experienced Persona 3, and what it meant to me and what it made me feel and what it made me think. And how it is one of the 3 games that has ever made me cry. That genuinely impresses me. What does it mean to you, buddy?
Well, first of all, that was beautiful.
Oh, thanks.
So, I like to call Persona 3 the most important video game I've ever played.
Yeah.
Because...
It's kind of like my boat, yeah.
Yeah. Because looking back, it's really strange to think about this, but without Persona 3, I wouldn't have pretty much any friends. I wouldn't have my YouTube channel. I never would have met my girlfriend. So... I played Persona 3 in, like, pretty similar to your situation, one of the more rough parts of my life. Like, I'm a high school dropout. I dropped out in, like, 2012? No, it was actually 2013. Like, I didn't even last the full year in high school.
Jeez.
So I just hated it. I genuinely hated it. So I had dropped out, like, after the winter break, and so it was, like, 2013. And I just kind of sat on my ass not doing anything. Like, the plan was for me to do homeschooling. That never amounted to anything, really. And so, like, I think I started playing it in the summer. And I went through it, and it gave me so much kind of satisfaction to just have that feeling of going to school and making friends. Because the short time I had in high school was really not fun. Like, I had basically no friends, and I just hated it in general. So being able to kind of, like, simulate a school life where I was happy was great. Like, that was a real kind of cathartic for me. Like, that was something I really needed.
Mm.
And it was kind of that message of, like, you're gonna die, right? You are going to die, and life's not gonna wait for you. It's gonna keep on keeping on, so you might as well get something done. And part of why that scene with Akihiko, I guess, resonates so much with me is that it shows his transformation from being like, I give up, I don't care, who gives a shit, to, you know what, I do care. I'm gonna do something.
Yeah. For me, it's like, I feel like this game is the reason why my attitude of bitching gets you nowhere. Fix it yourself or don't complain at all.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that part, like, root part of my personality, where it's like, if you're going to whine about something, at least take the initiative to try and fix it. or make the attempt to. And I there's so much I thank this game for, and that's one of the many things that I do.
Just playing through it and like the combination of simulating, I guess, the feeling of having people to talk to and a school life to go through made me think, you know what? I want to do something and I want to make some friends. So at the time, I think I only had one friend that I talked to online. And he was like, we had both played Persona 3 at a similar point. So he was like, let's join the Persona, Steam group.
Is this like the Flare lore?
Actually, this isn't Flare. I met Flare in the group. I had known this guy before I met Flare. So I met Flare in that group. Yeah.
Oh, that's fucking sweet.
Oh, yeah. He's my longest-lasting friend. And so, we're both high school dropouts. So we're kind of in similar situations.
Sweeping in those neat bucks?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so, I started making friends. I talked to Flare and all. And without him, I never would have started making videos. I never would have met my girlfriend. So in some weird way, it all kind of goes back to Persona 3, kind of kicking me in the ass and making me realize, you know what? Go do something. And, relating to the whole school thing, I started going to college the year after. I got my GED, I think in, 2014. And then I started going to college, not too long after.
Right. We all have our dreams. We all have what we desperately want to be. And for the vast majority of us, that's not going to come to you. You need to get it. My big, dumb... You're going to laugh at me for this, but, my big, dumb, gay dream is when I'm older, I want to retire with money I gathered from years of, hard, honest work, and just go somewhere comfortable and open a bakery. And that's just not going to come to me. That's a lot of expenses. That's a lifetime of experience I'm going to need if I want to even have a chance to make that real.
And 99.9999% of us aren't winning the Powerball.
Oh, yeah.
We gotta do stuff,
We're not getting that. We're not getting those $1,000 a day for the rest of our lives. Shit. That's just something that doesn't happen. The combined experience of, the 14 months in the mountains playing nothing but Megami Tensei filtered through, the genuine heartfelt nostalgia that this game gives me, it feels amazing.
I did a stream of it a little while ago of Persona 3.
I wasn't able to catch that because you always stream at fucking bumblefuck o'clock for me.
Yeah, and I was just damn, I still love this game. You ever have something that you love, and then you'll kind of go back to it, and you'll have this fear. At least this happens for me. You'll have this fear that you won't quite love it anymore.
Oh yeah, they're fucking dog shit. So many of them are actually terrible.
Yeah.
I'm glad I took the time to play this game.
Oh yeah,
and I feel like this is going to be a tie-in to another thing we're going to do sometime. I feel like the reason why Persona 4 just didn't have a chance with me is because I played it immediately after 3. The first half, the end of my freshman year into my sophomore year, was just Persona and experiencing life vicariously. I think that's the word, through these other people. And getting, albeit a very vague, very stylized version of what things can be like, and genuine messages of go out there and actually make something of yourself. And I do thank these games for that. They made me think, and part of that is why I am who I am today. Yeah, I guess that's that, right?